Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Renton Reflects. Before I get into reviewing today's film, I want to talk a little bit about the furry fandom. For those of you not familiar with it, it's a subculture that celebrates and embraces the concept of anthropomorphism in animals. Such a concept exists all the time in the media. Movies, TV shows, cartoons, newspaper comics, webcomics, magazine ads, commercials, books, you name it. The people in this fandom, known as furries, get involved in this celebration by creating their own anthropomorphic animal characters. They may roleplay as their characters online, write about them, illustrate them, even go so far as to have customized costumes made of their characters, known as fursuits. The reason I bring all of this up is because the furry fandom has often been viewed as misunderstood in the media. Nowhere is that misunderstanding probably more painfully spotlighted than in this flick. The plot involves a group of teenagers shooting their own horror movie out in the woods. They're all played by young adults who appear a little older than they're supposed to be, but I digress. While they're shooting their no-budget swamp monster movie, they happen to notice a group of furries across the lake. They don't take too much consideration into the furries until one night, one of the teenagers accidentally shoots and kills one of the furries, mistaking him for a real bear. The furries don't take too kindly to this and decide to seek murderous revenge. So it's up to the teenagers to make their escape from the woods alive before it's too late for all of them. This movie pretty much has all the earmarks of a bad horror flick. Aside having characters that barely have any personality and a few questionable choices in its direction, not to mention being semi-predictable, it doesn't give the furry fandom a proper representation. For one thing, it brings up the stereotype that all furries dress in animal costumes and get involved in intimate acts with each other. As someone who has gotten to know furries for a long time, let me just say that that's definitely not true. Not all furries can afford their own fursuits. It's also a bit odd in how the furries in this story are portrayed, like the way they communicate with each other in just animal noises. Even the way they make their creepy laughter during their murderous antics comes off as more weird than scary. It's not uncommon for some horror films to take something that's generally considered wholesome and innocent and try to make it scary. And this movie does have its fair intentions of possibly going that route. But the way everything is executed and put together just doesn't really work. I have two theories as to how the filmmakers approached this movie. Either they did no research on furries and had them portrayed based on what they've heard by word of mouth, or that they did the actual research and wanted to poke fun of furries in a satirical fashion. Either way, I still felt insulted by what this movie had to offer, not just in how it treated furries, but also in terms of entertainment value. To put it simply, it's a misguided slasher film that's practically a waste of time, regardless if you yourself are a furry or not. On a scale between 1 and 10, I would give this film a 3. It's not the worst horror film I've ever seen, but it's still terrible, no matter how you look at it. Thus concludes my review. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.